I'm Hairianto. Subscribe to the Straits Times channel so you will not miss an episode. The big story today, the Padang and its surrounding architecture like Victoria Theatre and Concert Hall and the former Supreme Court, that's now the National Gallery, have been placed on Singapore's tentative list of UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Named the Padang Civic Ensemble, this group of landmarks was identified as the best possible option to meet the World Heritage criteria as an outstanding example of a type of building, architectural or technological ensemble or landscape that illustrates a significant stage or stages in human history. Being on the tentative list is the first step in a possible nomination as a World Heritage Site. And if inscribed, the ensemble would be Singapore's second such site after the Botanic Gardens. The Padang is already a national monument, and now here's my colleague Renee Poh on how it's played host to some of Singapore's most historic significant events.
The Padang, the heart of Singapore's civic district, and also at the heart of some of the country's biggest moments in history. The Padang Civic Ensemble, comprising the open green field and its surrounding civic buildings, has been placed on Singapore's tentative list of UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Let's take a look at 5 significant moments that happened in this district. Singapore's first National Day Parade was held at the Padang in 1966. The site has played host to many editions of the NDP since then, including Singapore's Golden Jubilee and Bicentennial. During World War II, the former Supreme Court and City Hall were used by the Japanese as a military court and prison. On September 12, 1945, the Japanese surrendered to the British at the Padang, marking the end of the war in Southeast Asia. The Padang area has also been a site of political significance. In 1959, Singapore's founding Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew was sworn in at City Hall after winning the first general election. He also proclaimed Singapore's independence from Malaysia here in 1965. In 2015, the Padang provided a fitting venue for the nation to bid their final farewell to Mr. Lee, where thousands queued to pay their final respects. And, barring the pandemic years of 2020 to 2021, the world's fastest drivers have raced past the Civic District since the inaugural start of the F1 Singapore Grand Prix in 2008.
Joining us is heritage conservation expert Johannes Widodo from the National University of Singapore's Department of Architecture. Pleasure to have you, Prof. The National Heritage Board says the Padang and its surrounding buildings can most likely fulfill one of 10 criteria for World Heritage Sites. Prof, could you explain more about that criterion?
Okay, there are actually 10 criteria. If we only fulfill one, is enough. But I think it's not just the criterion number 4 that is proposed by NSP, but also criterion number 2 and number 6 could be also related to the significance of Padang. So the second criteria actually is related to fire, to exhibit an important interchange of human values over a span of time within cultural area of the world, in development of architecture or technology, monumental arts, town planning, and landscape design. So I think for me, this one is more appropriate because, you know, the Padang, the location's already there since 14th century until now. So it's always become a center point or the navel of Singapore. And second is also play an important role at the middle of the Mediterranean Sea of Asia. It's the center of Southeast Asia, basically. And it's representing the cosmopolitan culture and also typology that is quite important in these regions. Say, like, we know Maidan, for example, in Persia as a gathering place, and also Esplanade, and also Alun-Alun in Java. So Padang could be one additional important architectural or urban planning typology that can be part of the OUV. And second, of course, criteria number 6, is related to events or traditions. As you already mentioned, it's not just for leisure, but also for competitions, for entertainment, including F1, and also national event, of course, like National Day Parade, political rally, and so on.
Prof, what are the benefits to making it on the UNESCO list? Simply put, what's in it for us?
All right. UNESCO, as you know, is nothing to do with tourism, nothing to do with branding. Because the mandate of UNESCO is to create world peace and to create understanding between different parties. And its focus on E is education, C is culture, and S is scientific. So basically, if Singapore is able to get another World Heritage Site, it means that Singapore has become a responsible citizen of the world that will provide educations to the world, to the next generations, about the importance of a certain value that bring together people, that show our ability actually in the course of history in terms of managing peace through the cosmopolitan and hybrid culture that we have.
Should the Padang Civic Ensemble be recognized as a World Heritage Site, will the status affect how the space could be used? For example, Prof, would it affect the annual Formula One night race, which goes past that area?
As a civic space, I think we are dealing with so-called the living heritage. So it doesn't affect so much, but I think most importantly is how to ensure that the conservation management plan, urban development plan, and even event planning for a certain event like S1 is respectful to the status of the site. So the integrity of the site, there is not major changes happening, that is maintained as a proper, not just national monuments and sites, but also as a World Heritage Site should be follow through. So it doesn't mean that it cannot be stopped and then it's become like frozen space. It will remain, I think, as a very important living space, public space, and also a cosmopolitan area that everyone can enjoy and benefit from that space.
Just to round up our discussion today, Prof, what do you think of our chances in getting the ensemble listed?
Well, I think it depends on how we convince the World Heritage Committee about the significance, and it's supported by evidence. So it's not just about the wish list, but also how we substantiate our claim that that space, the existence for hundreds of years of history, will be able to serve the purpose as the educational space, as a cultural reminder, and also as a lessons to the next generations, not just Singaporean, but also the citizen of the world, about the importance of the values like the peaceful coexistence, like the importance of cosmopolitanism, especially in this divided world. So I think the chance depends on how we put up the narratives and how good that we can put up the evidence that the OUV is a real thing. And I think second most important is that the UNESCO can be convinced that we have a good mechanism for protections and management of site, that it will stay intact and authentic in the 100 years to come.
Professor, thank you for your insights. Associate Professor Johannes Widodo from NUS's Department of Architecture. In other news, the DBS Group CEO PIYUSH Gupta took home a salary of $15.4 million in 2022, an increase of over 13% from the year before. The pay package consists of a salary of $1.5 million, a cash bonus of $5.77 million, and deferred remuneration in cash and shares of $8.04 million, as well as a non-cash component worth some $80,000. And this is on the back of what DBS labelled as a breakout year, where it posted record profit and return on earnings. Unless the global economy is hit by any unexpected shocks, the bank is expecting to produce another record-breaking year. According to the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, Malaysia's former Prime Minister MUHYIDDIN will be charged with corruption-related offences on Friday. He was mobbed when he arrived at the agency's HQ in Putrajaya today, where he was being questioned. Mr. MUHYIDDIN is also Bersatu's president, and the commission is investigating allegations that contractors chosen for a government stimulus program were required to deposit money amounting to 300 million ringgit in Bersatu's accounts in return for projects. Now, he's denied the allegations, calling them political slander. Back home, Ahmad Daniel Muhammad Rafa'i, accused of killing art student Felicia Teo back in 2007, has lost his appeal to be completely cleared of a murder charge. Last July, Ahmad Daniel was given a discharge not amounting to an acquittal, and it sought a discharge amounting to an acquittal, which would have completely cleared him of the charge without a trial. Those are our top stories today. Visit straitstimes.com for more news and our YouTube channel for more videos. Subscribe by clicking the red button below. I'm Haryanto Diman. Join us tomorrow for more stories on The Big Story.